Hey guys, welcome to Jack's Beautiful You and happy Halloween weekend. I hope everybody is having a super safe yet fun and very spooky Halloween weekend. Today's video, we're going to be doing a haul. Plus, we're going to be doing a mini review of the new Navitus Parfum in collaboration with AI the Great, Amorous Intense. So I'm going to save that for the end. We will talk about that. I've had that perfume now for about 5 days. I've been wearing it for 5 days now, and I definitely have my full thoughts on the fragrance. So I'm going to go ahead and talk to you guys about that as well. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jackie. Thank you so much for clicking on my thumbnail today. I truly appreciate you being here. To my returning subscribers, thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate you. Let's get into this video. Alright, first up, I have a fragrance that I bought a full 100 ml bottle of. This is not new to my collection. I have a 30 ml of Italica by Xerjoff, but it is getting dangerously low. I can't tell exactly where it is, but this is one of my favorite gourmand perfumes, and I was like, okay, I need 100 ml of this. So real quick, just want to show you my 100 ml bottle. I do really think this is worth 100 ml status. So if you're new to my channel, I usually start off with small bottles of fragrances first, and then if I finish that bottle, then I will buy a bigger size. So this is 100 ml worthy in my opinion. I haven't quite finished this one yet, but I'm almost there. And like I said, I can't be without this perfume. This is one of my top 10 for life fragrances, one of my favorite gourmands. The opening has milk, it has almonds, it has saffron, it's very lactonic, and I get this almost kind of cherry vibe. I think it's from the almonds in the opening. And then I definitely love the saffron. I'm a big fan of saffron. I think that might be one of the reasons why this is polarizing though. Some people are not big saffron fans. This is definitely one to test for yourself. There's toffee in here, which I absolutely love toffee. Lots of vanilla. I think there's some sandalwood. It's so good. I absolutely love this one. I get really decent performance out of it. It's not super strong like fill up a room, but I do spray this. I kind of overspray this, definitely spray it on my clothes, but if I do that, I get all day wear with a really nice scent bubble. I've told you guys this before, but I feel like this perfume smells, in the dry down, it smells like the best almond cookie from the best bakery in the world. It smells so delicious. It's like an almond cookie drizzled with toffee. And then there's also a glass of milk sitting next to it, and I'm drinking milk and eating this delicious, yummy almond toffee cookie. I do get that cherry vibe in the opening, but it kind of goes away. It's like a cherry amaretto in the opening, but as it dries down, it goes into this almond toffee cookie with milk. It's so delicious. So it makes my little gourmand heart happy. This is by Xerjoff Italica. All right, up next we have by the House of Lattafa. This is Bade'e Al Oud, Honor and Glory. I was super curious about this. This one was a blind buy, but I saw the notes. I saw that there was pineapple and creme brulee in the opening, and I was like, sold. I really think that that sounds amazing. Now, when I first got this fragrance, I knew not to judge it right away because this is a house that I have found you have to give it time to sit. So I know there's been some debate about maceration and oxidization. I've been reading up on it. What I found out is there is a difference between the two. Maceration is something that's done beforehand with the perfumer. That's what they do when they put the perfume oils together. They put it in some sort of solvent, which is usually alcohol, to get the notes, the oils to come together. Because without that, it actually, from what I've read, the notes together actually smell pretty terrible. And you have to give them time to come together and bind chemically. And like I said, it's usually done with a solvent like alcohol. So they put the perfume oils, the notes together in alcohol, and then they put it away and they let it sit for as much time, or they let it macerate together, chemically combined together for the amount of time that the perfumer thinks it needs, just depending on the perfume and the different notes. So maceration is usually done in fullness before they get bottled up and sent out to the masses, right? Really what people are doing when they get a fragrance is, you know, you spray it like 10 to 15 times, you're introducing it to oxygen, you put it aside and you're letting it oxidize, which is different. Oxidize is introducing it to oxygen, and then from there the perfume starts to age, and some notes just really age well right? That's why some perfumes get deeper, darker, all that kind of stuff. However, I don't always think maceration is the wrong word to use, because I am convinced that there are some perfume houses that don't fully let their perfumes macerate. I'm looking at you, Dua. I'm convinced the House of Dua doesn't let their fragrances macerate, because I've had perfumes from Dua that I've gotten that smelled absolutely horrendous. Like they were not the oils weren't like chemically bound or something, you know, it doesn't smell right at all. But then you let it sit for a month or two and you come back to it, and then all of a sudden it smells like a completely different perfume that smells really good. So some houses, and I did read this, some dupe houses, the maceration process isn't fully complete. Anyway, in case you were interested in that, I don't know why I went off on that whole tangent. I just thought it was super, super interesting. Whether this still needs to macerate when I first got it or it just needed to oxidize, I don't know. But I do know it did not smell very good when I first got it. So if you get this perfume, don't go off of how it first smells. It smelled like a hot synthetic mess. But now that it's sat for about a month, this actually smells really, really good. I get the pineapple, I get the creme brulee, there's some cinnamon in here, there's turmeric in here, which is like a spicy, almost kind of like an earthy spicy. I do pick something like that up. It's really quite interesting. There's lots of vanilla in here. I believe there's benzoin, so it's sweet. I definitely get that pineapple in the opening. And I do get this like creamy creme brulee feel as well, but there's also something in here that kind of feels musky. I don't see musk listed in the notes, but you know, I'm looking at Fragrantica here, so I don't know how accurate that is, but there's something musky in this fragrance. It's very airy to my nose. It feels really wearable. Even though it has those gourmand touches, it still feels really wearable, almost like I could wear this all year round. So I'm really liking it. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this. I get decent performance out of it, and I don't know what this is supposed to be duping. I don't even know if this is duping something, but somebody in a video said that this was duping Ani by Nishane. No. Well, if that's what they were going for, they missed the mark. That's for sure. This doesn't smell like Ani at all. I think it's really unisex as well. Anyone could wear it, and I think it's pretty good for the price. So I'm liking it a lot. This is by Lattafa Bade'e Al Oud, Honor and Glory. All right, I already told you guys about this fragrance a couple of times. I didn't officially haul it for you though, but I have mentioned it in a couple of perfumes. This one was not a blind buy. I tested it first and I was super shocked at how much I loved it. So this is by Carolina Herrera, and this is Amethyst Haze. This is from the Confidential line. This perfume, first of all, I love the bottle. I'm a big fan of purple, and I was surprised when I tried it. I was curious about this perfume, but I was not expecting to think this was full bottle worthy at all. The opening has cardamom and pink pepper, which I usually like, but I don't get a ton of pink pepper. I do pick up some cardamom in here. And then the base, there's lavender and coffee, and I didn't know how I was going to feel about that, but somehow it works. The lavender and coffee combo together just really works, and it smells really relaxing, really soothing. Now the coffee in here is not super strong, so if you're not a coffee lover, don't let that scare you. And the lavender in here isn't super aromatic either. It's just this relaxing, soothing perfume that just makes me feel like I'm getting a warm hug. There's cashmere wood in the base. It's very smooth, but then there's a ton of this bourbon vanilla in here. It's like the richest, most opulent, smoothest vanilla dry down of this perfume. I just absolutely adore it. It's very soothing. You know, I was thinking this perfume would be perfect for somebody to wear to bed who has anxiety. If you struggle with anxiety and you know, as soon as your head hits that pillow, all the thoughts start racing in your mind. If that's you, I don't know, I feel like this perfume, if you're into aromatherapy, this would be the perfume to calm you down and just make you feel nice and relaxed and soothed. That's what it does for me anyway. The performance is really good too. It's not a screamer. It's not going to fill up the room, but I don't think it was meant to. This is not the type of perfume that was meant to fill up a room. It is really good though. I can smell it on me when I wear it to bed. I can smell it on me when I wake up, and it's a nice moderate scent bubble. So that is by Carolina Herrera, Amethyst Haze. This is another one I had tested and I fell madly in love with it. I told you guys I was going to get this bottle. I was looking for it at a discounted price because it's expensive for a 50 ml. I looked high and low though, and I couldn't find it at a discount. So I was just like, forget it. I need this perfume. I absolutely love it. So this is by Stephane Humbert Luca, and this is Venom Incarnate. I was super excited to find one of these bottles that I loved. I actually have found 2 more that I want to add to my collection. God of Fire and Pink Boa I tested and loved, so those are next. But this one, oh, I love this one so much. This has strawberry in the opening, and it has like regular strawberry, but then has wild strawberry. And if you've ever smelled or tasted wild strawberries, that is what is in here. It smells like wild strawberries. It is delicious. And then there's also, I think there's blackberries and raspberries in here. I don't really pick that up. I think the strawberries just take over the show for me. Lots of caramel in here. I definitely get that. And then there's some leather in the base, but it's very smooth. It's not at all like harsh, cold, sharp leather at all. And I found the notes to be pretty similar in here as to La Capitale by Xerjoff, and I've had people ask me if I think that they're similar. I know they share similar notes and you would think they'd be similar, but somehow they smell completely different. Yes, they both have strawberry, they both have caramel and leather, but La Capitale has a different kind of strawberry. It's not like this. This is wild strawberry. It's almost sweeter, it feels like to me. And there's leather in here, but it's more suede. I feel like the leather's a little bit more prominent in La Capitale. There's also oud in there as well, so I feel like the oud in La Capitale makes the perfume a little darker, a little deeper than this one. But this is so sexy. It's so sweet and good and delicious. If you love strawberry, caramel, if that's your thing, this is so good. There's some cinnamon in here as well, which I do pick up a tiny hint of that, but it's not over the top. There's some woody notes in here that I do pick up on in the base as well, but it's not, again, nothing is like too much in here. It's not overpowering. There's definitely vanilla, tonka bean to sweeten the perfume up as well. I love the bottle. I know not everybody loves these bottles. Some people really hate snakes and they don't want a bottle with a snake on it. I know, but personally I think it's a piece of art. And it's okay if you don't like snakes, you know? Like not everybody, that's normal. That's normal not to like snakes, right? I mean, I think we're ingrained to be scared of things that could potentially kill us. There are snakes out there that are poisonous, right? So it makes sense that people don't like them. I actually kind of like snakes, but I know that's a super unpopular opinion. I actually have a pet snake. His name is Dexter. He's a ball python. He's super sweet. He's not poisonous, obviously. And he's never bit me. He's never struck at me. I've had him since he was 2 months old, and he's freaking adorable. And he comes out and like, I think he likes watching TV because he likes the lights or the different, I don't know. I don't know what he's looking at, but he'll just like sit and look up at the TV. Anyway, he's got his own little personality. I love him. He's my baby. I know some people really don't like snakes, but I really enjoy this bottle a lot, and I love this perfume. So this is by Stephane Humbert Luca, Venom Incarnate. Alright, so a while back ago I did a video where I was showing you guys some new fragrances that I had added into my collection, and I showed you guys some new releases from the House of Argos. So there were 2 full bottles that were sent to me by the house in PR. One of them was Birth of Venus and the other one was Love Triumphs Over War. And then they sent me a sample of the newest release, which is Fall of Phaeton. And I told you guys in that video that I was in love. When I tried that sample, I was like, wow. I mean, kind of blown away by the fragrance. It was one of those wow factor perfumes that really just kind of took my breath away, to be honest. And I told you guys I was going to end up getting a bottle of it for sure. So I did. Real quick, I want to give you an update though on the other 2, because I told you guys I would update you guys on those 2 fragrances, and I don't really feel like I've done that. So real fast, Birth of Venus is one that was on my October tray, and I have been loving it. I absolutely love Birth of Venus. It's a fruity floral. I'm not going to go into too much detail. I've already told you guys about the perfume, but I have been madly falling in love with the fragrance. If you love peach, if you love raspberry, if you love chocolate and vanilla, if you like a unique fruity floral, definitely check out Birth of Venus. Love Triumphs Over War, that one I definitely struggled with. It's a very complex fragrance that I had to wear a couple of times to try to get my final thoughts. What it came down to is the opening is really powdery, but the dry down is super masculine leaning on my skin, and I found out it just wasn't to my taste. It just didn't work for me. I think it's super good quality. I think they did a fantastic job of nailing the story of Love Triumphs Over War. They had that yin and yang, dark and light kind of feel to the fragrance, but in the end the masculine part of the fragrance really was what came out the most in the perfume, and so for me it was too masculine leaning is what I'm trying to say. I do think it is a very artistic perfume. If you're a male or a female who likes masculine leaning fragrances, if you like powdery fragrances, definitely get your nose on it. Don't blind buy it though, it's super complex and the quality is definitely there, but yeah, if you're someone who's looking for a super unique, very artistic interpretation of a fragrance, I would definitely suggest you check out Love Triumphs Over War, but it's not a safe blind buy, and personally, it's not for me. But Birth of Venus, I absolutely love, and this one is my favorite. So this is this is my favorite out of the 3 new releases. Triumph of Bacchus is still my #1 favorite from the house, but this is Fall of Phaeton. And I purchased this myself with my own money. I started out with the 30 ml because that's what I do. And I just freaking love this perfume, you guys. There's something magical and there is definitely a wow factor to this perfume. I love it so much. So the box, this is the box it comes in here. And then when you open the box up, what's really cool about it is that you have the whole story that it's based on. So every perfume is based on some mythological story. The story is in the box and then the notes are listed here as well. So the opening has some bergamot and lemon, which I do pick up like a brightness in the opening of this perfume. This is a fantastic contrasting perfume. There's brightness, and then there's some spiciness, there's cardamom, there's ginger, and then in the heart, you start to get some contrasting kind of darker notes. There's some labdanum in here. There's also in the base, there's leather, which adds to that darkness, but it's not overpowering. It's not leather like harsh cold leather. It's very, very smooth leather. I almost thought it was more like suede. There's vanilla and tonka bean in here, which I think is super important because it adds a little bit more sweetness to the perfume so that the labdanum and the leather doesn't feel too much. This doesn't feel too masculine to me. This feels like straight down the middle. So Birth of Venus is very feminine leaning. Love Triumphs Over War is very masculine leaning to me, and this one seems straight down the middle unisex. It is so good. It is unique. It is complex. I've never really smelled anything like this, and it is totally worth getting your nose on. Now, with that said, just because I'm over here raving about this perfume and talking about how much I love it, there's no need to blind buy Argos perfumes. If you go on their website, they have samples. They have samples of all of their fragrances, and if you purchase a fragrance, you get to pick out the sample that you want as well. So no need to blind buy. No matter how much I tell you I love these perfumes. Don't blind buy them, okay? Unless you really love the thrill of a good blind buy. But if you don't, if you want to try them first to see if you like them, because they are complex, artistic perfumes. These are not your everyday types of perfumes. This is a very artistic house. And with art, you know, some art appeals to some people and some art doesn't, right? So none of these perfumes are going to be for everyone. So they are 100% you need to check them out. You need to try them first because they're not safe. They're not safe blind buys. But this is freaking gorgeous, super unique. Love it. Love the bottle. I always tell you guys how much I love the Argos bottles. I do think these are definitely a piece of art. The performance is amazing. This lasts all day. I get a gorgeous scent bubble around me. So this is by the House of Argos, Fall of Phaeton. Alright guys, and now to the perfume you've all been waiting for. This is the new release by Navitus Parfums in collaboration with AI the Great, and this is Amorous Intense. So it comes in this really big box like Ambrosia Imperiale did. You open that up and this part comes down, and then you have this really nice leather box that it stays in. I really like the presentation. So when you open this up, you've got this gorgeous like silky bed that it's in. I really think it's pretty luxe looking, pretty fancy. And then here is what the bottle looks like. I really love this color green. I think that is super pretty. So I did purchase this at the pre-release. I got the 30% discount, and I thought, you know, I am going to go ahead and go for it because I did have such success with Ambrosia Imperiale. And when I saw the notes of this, I thought, this is pretty much a shoo-in for me, you know? I feel like AI the Great and I have very similar tastes. When I watch her videos, I'm usually finding myself nodding along with most of what she says, like 95% similar taste in my opinion. We're not exactly the same. We do have some differences of opinion, but for the most part, I feel like we have really, really similar tastes. And I really love gourmands, and I love apple, I love pear, I love everything in this perfume. So I really expected to love it. All right, so let's talk about the notes. Top notes, we have baked pear, pear pulp, almonds, and applesauce. That got me right there. I was like, applesauce? That sounds like a lot of fun. And then heart notes, there's rum, there's ylang ylang, and French coffee. Base notes, we have cinnamon, caramel, whipped cream, and cane sugar. It was like, duh, of course I'm gonna like this. Also, just so you know, I did not watch any reviews on this fragrance. I have had blinders on. Every time I see like a video pop up, a review of this perfume or someone commenting on it or whatever, I'm like, no, 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 look away. Because I personally want to have an unbiased, untainted, uninfluenced thing to share with you, experience to share with you on this perfume. So I have stayed away. I haven't looked on Fragrantica, nothing. So these are my genuine, authentic, non-influenced thoughts on this fragrance. So, okay, when I first sprayed this fragrance, I got a lot of this apple, like this green apple feel. I got like that applesauce, but it smelled like green apple to me. It was really sweet with the cane sugar and also tart at the same time. And it had this, or it has this kind of candy feel in the opening. And you know what I thought of when I first sprayed it? Very first thing, I was like, this smells familiar, like a green apple Jolly Rancher. That's exactly what I thought. That's what I get as soon as I spray this. It's a lot of fun. However, I understand that not everybody wants to smell like a green apple Jolly Rancher. And I don't really even mean, it still smells like a perfume, but that's the vision I got in my mind when I first sprayed it. If you're someone that does not sound appealing to you, don't worry, that goes away quickly. I only get that within the first couple minutes of the fragrance. It's already starting to kind of fade. For me, that apple really goes into the background, and then the pear comes front and center. The pear is definitely the star of the show in here. You have to like pear in order to like this fragrance, which I'm guessing you do if you saw the notes, right? You saw there were like, what was it? Baked pear and pear pulp. So if you don't like pear, I don't think you probably should have got this perfume, right? Yeah, that apple has completely gone now. It's just pear. Sweet, sugary kind of pear. It smells really, really good. And then I don't get much of the heart notes though. There's rum, ylang ylang, and French coffee. I'm not picking up an overwhelming rum feel, like a boozy feel. And like I said, I've had this perfume for about 5 days now. So I've worn it every single day for 5 days because I really wanted to thoroughly test this fragrance out and get my full thoughts on it before I came and talked to you guys about it. So this is day 5 of me wearing this perfume. I'm still not getting those heart notes. I'm not getting rum, ylang ylang, and I don't get any coffee. In the base, we have cinnamon. I am slightly starting to pick up a little bit of the cinnamon now. I get a lot of caramel. So I get this really sweet, sugary pear. Well, first of all, I get that green apple Jolly Rancher, but that's only a couple minutes. Then the pear starts to come through, and then that caramel starts to come through. And it's delicious. Now, the first couple of days that I tried this fragrance, I did not get any whipped cream at all, like the first 2 days. But now I am. I'm starting to get whipped cream, and I'm starting to get a lot of whipped cream. That's definitely here. So far, it is a love. I really enjoy this. This, to me, smells a little bit more gourmand than Ambrosia Imperiale. Ambrosia Imperiale had more notes in it that were non-gourmand leaning, that kind of took it. It was more of like a semi-gourmand to me, or it is more of a semi-gourmand to me. It has saffron. Ambrosia Imperiale has saffron, it has musk, it has some Divana in it. That kind of took it out of the gourmand, full-on gourmand game for me. This one smells a little bit more in the gourmand territory. However, with that said, there's still something about this perfume that is very airy. It's not thick and dense. I would think that with everything I just told you, all those notes, pear, caramel, whipped cream, doesn't that sound like it would be thick and dense and heavy, like a fall, winter, full-on gourmand fragrance? You would think it would be, but it's not. There's something in here. I actually thought there was musk in here because it's so airy and wearable. Yeah, it just never gets to be too much. It never gets to be too thick. It never gets to be too dense. It's not too much too in your face. It is sweet though, so you definitely have to like sweet perfumes, but I'm guessing if you looked at the notes before you bought it, if you did buy this, or if you're planning on buying it, if you look at the notes, obviously it's going to be sweet, right? Whipped cream, caramel, sugar. The pear is so good in here. It's so front and center. It's delicious. Now, I will say there's one thing that kind of threw me off just a little bit. It didn't throw me off, but I can't quite figure it out. Maybe you guys can help me if you have any ideas. There must be a similar DNA that this particular perfumer, I think there's two perfumers. Yeah, I think it's the same. There's the same perfumer from Ambrosia Imperiale in here. Like I said, I thought there was musk in here because I get the same kind of like musky, airy feel that I get from Ambrosia Imperiale, and I can't figure out how that's possible because there's no musk listed. So there's got to be something in the DNA of both perfumes that are making them smell. There's like a similarity, not a similarity. I don't want to make it seem like these perfumes smell the same because they definitely don't. But there's a very similar DNA vibe in both of the fragrances that make them both feel very wearable to my nose. So let me know in the comment section if you feel that way too. Do you get that kind of similar vibe between the two? Again, I thought it was the musk. Completely separate perfumes. No, this does not smell like Ambrosia Imperiale. Ambrosia Imperiale is banana, saffron, divana. It has completely different, you know, this is pear and apple. They both have caramel, I believe. I definitely pick up a lot more of the rum in Ambrosia Imperiale than I do in here. I really don't get a boozy feel from this one at all. But two completely separate perfumes for sure. They just have a similarity between them that I can't quite put my finger on. Performance of this so far is pretty good. I don't have any complaints. I've worn it to bed. I've woke up the next day, could still smell it on my clothes. The projection's not super strong. It's not going to fill up a room, but it is moderate. I get a nice scent bubble. I do suspect that that would probably change though. This is an extrait to Parfum and this is a new formula, so I'm thinking that once this has time to sit for a little bit, the performance will probably get stronger and stronger. That's happened to me with a couple other Navitus fragrances that I have where the performance just gets better and better over time. Right now it's moderate to good all around, and I just expect it to get stronger. So I love it. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and congratulations to AI the Great for another amazing, delicious, gourmand release with Navitus. I think it's absolutely delicious and my favorite pear fragrance in my collection now. So that is my opinion and my thoughts on the new Amorous Intense. Let me know in the comment section what you think of these fragrances. Do you like them? Do you love them? Do you hate them? I want to hear from you. I want to know what your thoughts and experiences are with these fragrances. And if you found this video helpful and you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I hope everybody is having an amazing day and happy Halloween. And hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!